It's a great pleasure to be here today. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to make a couple of opening remarks, and then I'm going to play a video. So no PowerPoint, but just a video. I'm very happy today to talk about this crucial topic of clean tech and economic development. And I think Bill's right. We're going to look back at this time in history in 10 years, and we're going to realize that something different was happening, and that we were reaching this tipping point with clean tech. And as I think the perspective that Bill's asked me to bring to this is as a member of BC's clean tech sector, and I also chair the Clean Tech CEO Alliance. I'm a board member of the BC Technology Industry Association, and I think one of the things that has provided us with a ground floor in British Columbia, a couple of things. First of all, we've got a great kept secret here, and the minister's being a little modest. We have one of the best business climates here in the world. We've got the lowest corporate income tax rates in the G8. We've got, for clean tech, just recently in the recent budget, we have a special tax treatment for clean tech companies where the corporate tax rate is going to drop from about 28% to 15% over the next few years. So it's truly the government. When the minister talks about this being a very progressive business environment, he's absolutely right. BC is open for business. But a few things you may know about British Columbia, and I think this is true for building any clean tech cluster, is you really have to start with your strengths. And in British Columbia, we have tremendous strengths. We have some of the most enviable renewable energy assets in the world. 90% of our power currently comes from renewables. We've got a massive natural gas industry. We've got the potential for something like 30,000 megawatts of wind, solar, biomass, tidal, and run-of-river hydro projects. We've got a clean power sector that is got $15 billion worth of projects that are currently near investment ready. And we've got a very large clean tech sector, as the minister talked about, which is 95% exports. And I think that's a key point for the clean tech sector in any jurisdiction. It's a huge export opportunity. And we've got world-class policy. We've got the first carbon tax in North America. Our carbon tax in British Columbia is going to be $30 a ton by 2012. And that's a huge incentive for adopting new types of technologies. We've got the City of Vancouver has launched their whole new brand is Vancouver Green Capital, and they're taking a very progressive role in setting policies and projects right through the entire value chain of how a progressive city operates in North America. And we've got world-class researchers and world-class universities, and that's what's going to drive the next wave of innovation. So before I finish up, I'm just going to ask, we'll play a short video clip that'll give you a little bit of context for our entire ecosystem here in British Columbia around clean tech and clean energy. So if you could play the video.
Look up, way up. You are here. Right here in the windy, sunny, hydroelectric, geothermic, hydrogen-celled, bioenergetic heart of the clean energy future. You are here in British Columbia, Canada. This is a place with energy, a province fueled by ingenuity, powered by nature, and energized by a $100 billion investment opportunity. An opportunity to build a global clean energy powerhouse for power generation, clean fuels, technologies, and services.
37,000 megawatts from renewable sources: hydro, wind, biomass, solar, geothermal, tidal, and wave. Enough to power 16 million homes, more than every residence in California.
President Obama says, the world is now engaged in a peaceful competition to determine the technologies that will power the 21st century. The nation that wins this competition will lead the global economy. British Columbia Premier Gordon Campbell declares, we intend to win that competition. So you are here, in the right place, with trailblazing thinkers who are leading the way to a low-carbon economy.
BC is rich in transition fuel, natural gas. Over 100 companies have invested $37.6 billion from 2001 to 2008. BC is the first jurisdiction in North America to have a comprehensive price on carbon and commit to a carbon-neutral government, a low-carbon fuel standard, mandatory greenhouse gas emission reductions of 33% by 2020 and 80% by 2050.
You are here with the right people, inventive, culturally diverse people who've educated a clean energy generation.
22 universities and colleges producing over 20,000 graduates annually in science and tech fields. $650 million per year in research dollars. 20 environmental clean tech-related research institutes. UBC is recognized by the Cambridge Institute as the most sustainable campus in Canada and by the National Science Foundation as a commercialization powerhouse.
You are here with passionate people who've made the 2010 Winter Games the standard by which all future games will be judged. You are here with pioneering people who are inventing with energy and powering the planet.
Our clean tech sector exports to 50 countries. Natural gas-fueled trucks and buses in California and China. Solar panels in Germany and Spain. Biomass gasification in the US. Power management electronics in China. Hydrogen fuel cells in India. Smart grids in Latin America.
And you are here with enterprising British Columbians who are drawing the people and capital to build a clean energy powerhouse.
BC has a multi-billion-dollar clean tech sector, hundreds of companies, and thousands of employees. Private companies generate 10% of BC's power. More than $15 billion in new projects are ready for active development.
You are here at Canada's Pacific Gateway, the green light in the clean energy intersection between Europe, China, and California. On the western edge, the livable edge, the beautiful edge, the leading edge.
In 2009, The Economist voted Vancouver the world's most livable city.
The place with the lowest corporate income tax in the G8 and the highest life expectancy in North America. It's in our nature. You are here. Right place, right people, right energy. Right now. Join us.
What the heck was that? Okay, all right. So what is CleanWorks? Well, it has to do with the cluster we're building here. And just a short history. We had a catalyzing event just a few weeks ago, the Olympics. And this whole thing started around this idea of CleanWorks and taking an ecosystem approach to building a clean tech cluster and a clean energy cluster. Really started with the minister's deputy minister, Greg Reimer, who got about 30 CEOs together and said, you know, guys, the Olympics are coming. And what are we going to do to profile, and really challenged us to think about how we could profile our sector to the world at the Olympics. And so with the prospect of this Olympic-sized launching pad, we decided that the time had come for the clean tech and the clean energy community to get our act together and to join together. And we formed this unholy alliance that we call CleanWorks. And it's really a partnership that's led by the clean tech sector, the clean power sector, but it's a partnership that includes the full backing of the provincial government, the City of Vancouver, the University of British Columbia, and we intend to expand this to include other people. And if you ask us if we think that the conventional oil and gas industry belongs in our clean tech cluster, we absolutely do. And more than anything, I think the entire community recognized that if we want to build a sector, we have to take a complete ecosystem approach. So we have to get people out of their missile silos and pointed in the same direction. And above all, it requires intense collaboration. And I think that that kind of collaboration can generate almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's created a ton of energy in British Columbia, and we're really just getting started. And one of our earliest decisions was to create a brand called which we call CleanWorks, and a marketing and communications and business development strategy to really tell not only the world about what's happening in British Columbia, but also tell British Columbians about British Columbia, what's happening in clean energy. So why is that important to a company like NextEra? Well, first of all, we share the common belief that we've got this once-in-a-generation opportunity to build a clean energy economy and a low-carbon economy that can be a powerful engine of economic growth, and we can export these solutions. And secondly, those of us who travel the world constantly are astonished at the rate and pace at which clean energy is becoming part of the mainstream economy, from China to India, and from Brazil to Europe and the Middle East. Demand for clean power, clean fuels, technologies is growing at a rate that is absolutely breathtaking. And third, we're deeply aware in British Columbia of the competition to supply that demand. And we have to decide whether we want to be buyers or sellers. And we want to be sellers. And if we don't, and we don't lead the transformation, and we don't stay ahead in terms of policies and legislation and innovation and research and training and jobs and technology, then we risk compromising our future economic prosperity. And finally, it just makes good business sense, even for companies like NextEra, which are still relatively small companies, and that to do smart things and to collaborate and to create a brand and an awareness just adds to the reputation of companies like ours. Oh, you're from British Columbia. That's that smart place where all that thinking's going on around clean energy. So we're not just talking about it. We're already doing it. And as my good friend Wal Van Lierop says, the CEO of Crystalix Ventures, energy's in our DNA. We've been doing clean energy for a long time, well before it was fashionable, and we're just now starting to talk about it. So as this brand rolls out, we'd like people to think of BC when they think about clean energy. And when entrepreneurs think about locating a startup, we want them to think about BC first. And when big green elephants like GE or Google think about where they want to bring their next cool idea, we want them to bring it to British Columbia. So with that, I'll end my comments and look forward to the discussion.